teach only love, for that is what you are, only love. Yes, that is what you are, teach only love, that is what you are, and teach only love, everywhere you go, teach only love, to everyone you know, teach only love, love is what you are, hey, yeah, let me recognize the problem so the problem can be solved, let me recognize the problem so the problem can be solved, and teach only love, each and every day, teach only love, in your own special way, teach only love, love is what you are.
Welcome, mighty companions. Welcome, mighty companions, to the Way of Mastery. So glad to have you here with me for the Way of Mastery. I'm Earl Purdy, and I'm doing the Way of Mastery on Facebook Live. Teach only love.
Well, that is what you are.
That is what you
teach
are.
only love. Yeah, you're a shining star. Only love. Love is what you are. Let me recognize the problem so the problem can be solved. Let me recognize the problem so the problem can be solved. Teach only love, each and every day, only love, in each and every way, teach only love, love is what you are.
Remember, you don't have to believe the ideas. You don't have to accept the ideas. You don't have to welcome the ideas. Some of the ideas are going to be hard to believe. And some of the ideas are going to be quite startling. Some of the ideas are going to be quite startling. If you use the ideas, you will see that the ideas are true. But you got to use the ideas and you will see the ideas are true. Some of it's going to be hard to believe. Some of it's going to be quite startling. But if you use the ideas, you will see that the ideas are true.
Shoo-na-na, shoo-na-na, loving what you are, hey. Shoo-na-na, shoo-na-na, loving what you are. Shoo-na-na, shoo-na-na, love is what you are.
Now listen to this. Listen to this. Listen to this.
Let me recognize the problem so the problem can be solved. Teach only love. Teach only love, yeah, teach only love, for that is what you are, oh, you are, oh, love is what you are, yeah, love is what you are.
Love is what you are. Yeah, love is what you are, mighty companion. Love is what you are. That's what you are, mighty companion. You are love. You are love. Welcome to the Way of Mastery. I'm excited to be here with you. I love our time together. I love our time together. Thank you for all the hearts. I'm sending you out love. Our mighty companions are here again. We're going to go deep into the way of knowing, the way of knowing. We're going to be on page 393. Welcome, all of you. You're meeting with your mighty companions. We're going to be in the way of knowing, part 3. We're going to be on page 373. We're going to start out with page 373, in the way of knowing. And this section is called Exercises to Awaken in Love. So we're going to be seeing how we can wake up in love this evening. If you want to learn how to wake up in love, that's what this session is going to be about tonight. The purpose of it is to show you how to wake up in freedom, wake up in love, wake up in the abundance, wake up in the truth, waking up in love. It's all the same thing. So we're going to be hearing how to do what? We're going to be hearing how to wake up in love. So we're going to start with exercises to awaken in love. And I'm going to go through the paragraph, and we're going to hear what the guidance is, and we're going to see how we can apply that guidance. So our emphasis is going to be on hearing it. Our emphasis is going to be on hearing it. It says, beloved friends, if you would truly use the teaching of the way of knowing as the time in which you awaken into the decision to be the presence of love and nothing else, so that you can move into the rest of your experiences. And what is the rest of your experiences? Your experiences as the enlightened Christ that you already are, look well in each of the next 30 days. So do you want to wake up to the decision? Do you want to awaken into the decision to be the presence of love and nothing else? So do you want to awaken to the choice to be the presence of love and nothing else? Well, this is what we're going to focus on, how we can wake up to be in the presence of love and nothing else. I can feel your energy. I love the fact that we're on here live together. Let's take a breath for a minute and feel the energy. It feels so good. It feels so good to be focusing on sanity together. So I want you to ask yourself this question. Where in my life have I refrained from love? Where is it in your life that you're not giving up the love the way that you know you should? Where in your life have you chosen to have patterns of behavior and decisions and choices with a smile on your face while all the time attempting to control and manipulate the world? And why is it that a person tries to control and manipulate the world? A person tries to control and manipulate the world in order to keep them safe from feeling and facing their own insecurities. So does that mean that a person is trying to manipulate everyone around them and control everyone around them, that they're trying to keep themselves safe from feeling their own insecurities? Yes. Does that mean that the more insecure a person is, the more controlling and manipulative they are? Yes. Where have you demanded that the world show up in a certain way so that you can pretend to have peace and pretend to be happy and loving? So where is it that you are demanding that the world show up the way that you want it to show up? Where are you demanding that the world show up the way you want it to show up so that you can act like you have peace and pretend that you are happy and loving? I'm sure that you would probably agree with me that anybody can be happy and loving in a candy store. Anybody can be happy standing in front of a crowd where everybody's applauding you, acknowledging you, and seeing you as awesome. Anyone can be happy when they have 20 or 30 friends around them telling them that they love them and telling them how great they are. But do you know what the enlightened person does? Only the enlightened person can be happy when those same 20 friends turn around and stab them in the back or try to crucify them or try to hurt them. So what's the characteristic of an enlightened person? An enlightened person, they're going to still be happy no matter how they're being treated. A truly enlightened person is not going to give up their happiness no matter what's going on around them. A truly enlightened person is not going to give up their happiness no matter how much they're going through stuff that seems to be caused by people outside of themselves. So what do you do when you're in your darkest moments? What do you do when you're in your darkest moments? Well, the Way of Mastery says it's in your darkest moments. Now, what are your darkest moments? Well, your darkest moments are going to be those moments when all the structures that you've made are crumbling. When it looks like everything in your life is going to pieces, that's your darkest moment. When it looks like everything is not going the way that you want it to go and you're unhappy, that's your darkest moment. So it's in your darkest moments when there's a crumbling of the structures that you've made. Do you know what your darkest moments are? Do you know what your darkest moments are? Your darkest moments are where you are best given the opportunity to realize the great power within you to teach only love. So, Earl, if you're in your darkest moment in any area of your life right now, you're having a great opportunity. You're having a great opportunity to realize how much love is inside of you. You're having a great opportunity to realize how much power is inside of you. You're realizing that you have this great power within you to teach only love. So in your darkest moment, that's the best opportunity to demonstrate only truth and to demonstrate only love. When is the best time to demonstrate only truth and love? When you're in your darkest moment. When are you in your darkest moment? When all the structures and all the things you built up in your life seem to be falling apart. So now your ego, which is the part of you that doesn't know the truth, the ego would convince you that to know love, this is what you got to do. Your wrong mind is going to tell you this is what you need to do in order to know love. You got to set up your world so that you never experience challenges. Do you know that that's what most people are doing? They're trying to set their world up in such a way that there are never any problems in it. They're trying to set their world up in such a way that there are never any challenges, never insecurity, no insecurities of abandonment, no loneliness, no not knowingness, the kind of insecurity one might feel when they know not where their next meal comes from. So the attempt to create material security, do you know where that's coming from? Your attempt to have so much material security, do you know where that's coming from? That's coming from your ego. That's coming from your egoic mind. That's coming from the part of your mind that's afraid, that need to try to focus on primarily on your material security. That's coming from your ego mind. That's coming from the part of your mind that doesn't know the truth about who you are. The part of you that's fixated on material security is the part of you that's not aware of the spiritual truth about yourself. The enlightened mind is already in complete abundance always. A mind that is enlightened, do you know that a mind that is enlightened, do you know that a mind that knows the truth is a mind that's already in abundance in its mind already? The enlightened mind is in complete abundance. And how long is the enlightened mind in complete abundance? How long is the loving mind in complete abundance? How long is the enlightened mind in complete abundance? The enlightened man knows it's in complete abundance always. The mind that is enlightened knows that it is in complete abundance always. The mind, when it is enlightened, knows that it is in complete and total abundance always. Do you know that when your mind is enlightened, you will be certain that you are in complete abundance always? And until you recognize that, you know you still have some work to do. So Jesus says, when I walked this world as a man and was taught by the Essenes, I and my brothers and sisters learned to practice a way of life that was also known in other cultures in ancient India. So you've got to make a conscious decision. What kind of conscious decision? A conscious decision was made to give up all materiality and to walk literally naked in the world, owning nothing, possessing nothing, facing the stark reality of the body's perfect invulnerability, the body's perfect vulnerability. Okay, so let me get this straight. Jesus said he made a conscious decision to give up materiality, but that's not saying that it's negative or you're a bad person or you're an unenlightened person if you're focused on materiality. It just means you're focused mainly in your ego mind, which is the part of you that doesn't know that you have complete abundance, so there's no need for you to necessarily seek it. But Jesus kind of gave that up. Since he made a conscious decision was made to give up all materiality and to walk literally naked in the world, owning nothing, possessing nothing, facing the stark reality of the body's perfect vulnerability, relying on the expressions of grace and love through others. So Jesus made that's funny, because if you were to think about it, the people that are standing on the corners that are holding up signs wanting people to give them money, in a sense, they really have given up all materiality. They're walking naked in the world. They are owning nothing, basically possessing nothing. They are facing the stark reality of the body's perfect vulnerability, especially during the winter time. And people who are standing on the corners asking for money and holding up signs for people to share with them, they are really relying on the expressions of grace and love through others. That's not saying, again, that that's what you have to necessarily do, but it's expressing here that there was a level of trust in Jesus that's far beyond what the average person does. And he says, we will walk around with a begging bowl and simply say, the body mind is hungry. Would you be so kind as to fill my bowl? And receive the yes or no with the very same appreciation. And there have been times that people have been standing at the traffic lights and intersections that have wanted to receive money from me, and let's say that for whatever reason I wasn't moved or inspired to share anything, they would say to me, thank you, God bless you, and have a great day. So they were receiving the yes or the no with the very same appreciation. Then the Course of Love says, many of you don't have any idea what it means to be hungry. I'm going to paraphrase this and do it in a conversational way. You don't really have any idea what it means to be hungry. You don't really have any idea what it means to be hungry. You think hunger is that temporary knowing that occurs when you have not gone to your refrigerator in the last few hours. We think being hungry is the way that we feel when we haven't had something to eat for a few hours. But that is not an example of truly being hungry. So the way of mastery says, Jesus says in the way of mastery, go and abide in the forest with nothing to eat. Take nothing with you but perhaps some water, and stay there alone, open in the elements for 3 days and 3 nights. If you really want to get in touch with your faith, if you really want to get in touch with how much you are in touch with the truth, go out in the woods with nothing to eat. Just take a little water with you and go there by yourself and be out there in the elements for 3 days and 3 nights. Then you will know something of what it means to be in a scene. Then you would have some idea of what it means to be someone who goes without any attempt to protect the body or the mind from the deepest fears of its own demise. Then you will get some idea of what it's like to go without any attempt to protect yourself. So basically, to me, it looks like Jesus is trying to tell us to get out of denial, to make us aware that we're not really hungry. We don't really know what hunger is. We really haven't dealt with our fears because we haven't done anything as intense as going out to a forest alone with only some water and no food for at least 3 days and 3 nights. At that point, you kind of get in touch with just how much you really have faith in God and faith in yourself. And Jesus says, in the way of knowing, once a rich man came unto me and asked me to teach him. And I simply replied, go and sell all that you have and follow me. Go and sell everything you got and follow me. He didn't want God that much. He didn't want me that much. Of course, I've said unto you many times I've said unto you, it doesn't mean you must go and give away your material wealth that you have in your world. I'm not telling you that you must go and give away your material wealth. I'm not telling you that you must go and give away your material things. I am not telling you that you must go and give away your material wealth that you have in this world. This is not saying you have to go and give away your material wealth and the material things that you have. But this section, Jesus is saying in this section that you must give away your attachment to your wealth. You must give away your attachment to everything. You must give up your attachment to everything. I'm not asking you to give up everything. I'm asking you to give up your attachment to everything. Do you hear what I'm saying? I'm not asking you to give up your material wealth. What I'm asking you to do is to give up your attachment to your material wealth and your material things. You must see that material things and anything in the physical world, because it's temporary, because it doesn't last, it is an illusion. So the way of mastery's definition of an illusion is simply something that doesn't last. Anything that's temporary. So the definition of illusion, according to the way of mastery, is that we're talking about something that ends. We're talking about something that's temporary. We're talking about something that's impermanent. So when it says illusion, it's talking about false ideas that we want to believe are true, or it's talking about something that ends and something that doesn't last and something that's not permanent. And anything that's an illusion, and what did I say an illusion is? Anything that doesn't last. Anything that doesn't last cannot provide you the safety that you are truly looking for. Something that you can't depend on isn't really providing you with any real safety. Anything that you can't constantly depend on that will never fail you can ever really supply you with complete permanent safety. So where does safety come from? Where does safety come from? Where does safety come from? Safety comes only from reclining in God's heart. If you want to be safe, what do? You have to recline in the heart of love. You have to recline in love, just like a recliner. You have to recline in love if you truly want to feel safe. And this is what you would say to yourself. You would recline in God. You would recline in love. When you want to feel safety, this is what you would say. If you would like to know, would you like to know what you need to do to feel really, really, really safe? Well, in order to feel really, 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 really safe, in order to feel really, 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 really safe, you recline in the heart of God. You recline in the heart of God, and you say to yourself, the body-mind is not even mine. The body-mind is not even mine. This body and mind is really not even mine. The mate I have is not mine. The career is not mine. The bank accounts are not mine. The body, mind, is not even mine. The mate I have isn't really mine. The career that I have is not really mine. The bank accounts that I have are not really, truly mine. These things of the world cannot keep my soul safe. The things of the world cannot keep my soul safe. The things of the world cannot keep my soul safe. The things of the world cannot keep your soul safe. The things of the world cannot keep your soul safe. The things of the world cannot keep your soul safe. The things of the world cannot awaken you. The things of the world cannot awaken me. The things of the world cannot awaken you. The things of the world cannot awaken me. The things of the world cannot awaken you. The things of the world cannot awaken me. The things of the world cannot keep your soul safe. That's a fact. That's the truth. I'm just sharing it with you. It's okay if you believe it or not. Remember, you don't have to accept the ideas. You don't have to believe the ideas. You don't have to welcome the ideas. Some of the ideas are going to be hard to believe. Some of the ideas are going to be quite startling. You're not being asked to figure it all out. You're not being asked to judge the ideas at all. It's the use of the ideas that will give the ideas meaning and will show you that the ideas are true. So the body mind is not even mine. The mate is not mine. The career is not mine. The bank accounts are not mine. These things of the world cannot keep my soul safe. These things of the world cannot awaken me. So what will awaken you? What will awaken me? What will awaken you is only your decision to surrender the world. Do you know that the thing that will awaken me is the thing, is what's going to awaken me is my decision to surrender the world. What is going to awaken you is your decision to surrender the world, your decision to transcend the world. So how do you transcend the world? How do you transcend the world? How do you transcend the world, Earl? How do you transcend the world, Earl? How do you transcend the world, Earl? Well, that's to abide as empty in the world. How do you live as empty in the world, Earl? How do you live as empty in the world? How do you live as empty in the world? Only by your decision to teach only love. That's what can awaken you to the invulnerability beyond the vulnerability of all created things. So how do you awaken to your invulnerability? How do you awaken to your invulnerability? How do you awaken to your invulnerability? Only by your decision to demonstrate only love. Only by your decision to demonstrate only freedom. Do you know that it is only through your decision to demonstrate only freedom that you awaken to the invulnerability that you have beyond the vulnerability of all created things? Even this very body, even this very mind that I once mistakenly identified with as myself. So what's a mistake? The way of Master just said, mistaking your body for being yourself, mistaking the thoughts that you are making up as being yourself. So would you like to know how the truly awakened mind comes and goes? I love how Jesus in the Way of Mastery is telling us how to tell the difference between what's true and what's not, what's real and what's not, what wakes us up and what keeps us asleep. I love how Jesus doesn't give a hoot about our ego. which is all of our past learnings and figuring out and what we believe is true. It's just like saying, you know what, I'm just going to tell you the way it is. You can accept it or you cannot accept it. You're innocent either way it goes. If it's the truth, you're going to find out it's the truth. If it's the truth, you're going to have to end up accepting it if you really want to be happy anyway, Earl. So I'm just going to tell you the way that it is. I'm willing to help you get to enlightenment, but I don't care about how you feel about what I'm saying, Earl. That's not important to me, how you are reacting to what I'm saying, because it's okay for you to have all your feelings about what I'm saying. Mighty Companion, it's okay for you to have all your feelings about what the Way of Mastery is saying. You can have any kind of feelings you want about what the Way of Mastery is saying. But the truth is, if you are truly awakened, would you like to know how you would be expressing yourself if you were truly awakened? If you were truly awakened, you would come and go as the wind. You would know where you came from, and you would know where you're going. A truly awake being, they don't know where they came from, and they're not even caring or interested in it. And a truly awake being doesn't even know where they're going. So if you really don't know where you're going and you feel okay about that, you're much more toward being awake than a person who has nothing but fear about where they're going and who's desperately trying to make up their own way in terms of controlling everybody else and what's going to happen in the future. The truly awakened person does not even know these things. They don't know what things. They don't know where they came from. They don't know where they're going. So how can you really know where you came from, and how can you really know where you're going? But one thing that the truly awakened person does, a being that's truly awakened, what a being does that's truly awakened is they listen to the voice of spirit. When you really wake up, all you want to do is hear the voice for God. All you want to do is hear the voice of your guidance. All you want to do is hear the voice of your divine self. All you want to do is hear the voice of the universe. When you are truly awakened, all you want to do is follow guidance. You are about being guided. You're not about making up your own way on your own. When you are truly awakened, then you are only interested in listening to the voice of spirit. Now, if we already had mastered the way to do this, there wouldn't be any need for us to study this or read this. So don't make the mistake of feeling frustrated because we're hearing about the way that we're going to be once we finish our lessons and the application of our lessons. This is the kind of person you're going to be when you let go of all the blocks and all the past learning that you've gotten from the world. So don't compare what I'm saying now about what the truly enlightened being is to yourself, especially if you're not exemplifying any of these characteristics, because that's a trip. That's a trick. So I'll say it again. How can you tell when you're truly awakened? If you're truly awakened, you're just like the wind. You don't know where you're coming from, and you don't know where you're going. And you're listening to the voice for God. That's the main thing that you want to do. The main thing you want to do is just listen to the voice of spirit. And spirit is like the whisper of the wind that says, come, go, touch, speak, refrain, leave, abstain, embrace, eat, fast, pray, dance. So how does one who abides in unobstructed feeling nature flow? Well, the one who lives in unobstructed feeling, someone who's living in all of their feelings without denying any of their feelings, someone who's accepting all of their feelings, they have a feeling nature that flows. The one who abides in unobstructed feeling nature flows with that which comes from the depth of a perfectly still heart and mind, and dances while knowing stillness. In other words, the body, the mind that others see is no longer inhibited by the contraction of the ego. So when you are finally being true to yourself, Earl, when you're finally being completely unobstructed in your feelings, when you're owning all of your feelings, when you're not trying to pretend that you don't feel what you feel, mighty companion, then you will finally be in a body that's not inhabited by your ego. When you're not repressing, suppressing, or being inauthentic, then you will be someone that is no longer inhibited by the contraction of the ego, which is by the contraction of fear. The enlightened, what is a really awesome characteristic of someone that's enlightened? Well, someone that's enlightened is someone that can't be understood. You cannot understand an enlightened person. You cannot understand an enlightened being. You can only appreciate an enlightened being. When you're in the presence of an enlightened being, you won't really be able to understand them. The way they are, the way they express themselves, the way that they operate, unless you are also enlightened, you won't be able to understand an enlightened being. But what you can do with an enlightened being is you can appreciate an enlightened being. You can appreciate an enlightened being, but you won't understand an enlightened being. So, who are you going to choose to be today? Who are you going to choose to be today, my beloved mighty companions? My mighty companion, who are you going to choose to be today? One who walks in the ordinary world, or one who walks in heaven, side by side with their Creator? Who are you going to choose to be today? Somebody that walks in the regular world, or somebody who's walking side by side, connected to, joined with their Creator? Will you walk this day in the world as one who has everything figured out? Are you going to keep trying to walk around in the world like you have figured everything out? Or are you going to walk as one who is perfectly innocent? Someone that just laughs and loves and chuckles on the inside at the great illusion of the drama in this world. So how does an enlightened being walk this world? They walk this world feeling completely innocent. They walk this world and they are very loving. And an enlightened being is really laughing and chuckling at all of the insane drama that seems to be going on here. An enlightened being is actually laughing and chuckling at the insane drama that seems to be going on here, because they know that they are divine and that they're invulnerable and that they are loved and that everything that they're looking at is a projection from their own mind. And so for this world right here arises and it passes away in the twinkling of an eye. This world is merely like dots on a screen that have created a temporary movie. You're looking at a movie. If you were to look at your life as if you're looking at a movie, you would have a perspective of life that was much more in line with the truth. If you were to look at your life as some kind of great cosmic play with you as the character, you in the lead role, you would have a much more accurate perception of what's going on in your life. But once the movie plays out, even when the movie is no longer being shown on the screen is still there, just like it always is. When you go into a movie and they haven't started to play the movie yet and you're looking at a blank screen, after you watch the movie, what's still there? The blank screen. So the thing that the movie is playing out on is realer than the movie itself. And so everything that we're looking at is like a movie. And it's going to remain until the next movie comes into town. It's like my mother used to tell me, if it ain't one thing, it's another. As soon as it looks like you got one thing solved and handled, then something else comes up. And then it seems like as soon as you got that handled, something else comes up. And then as soon as you think you've done this thing or completed this thing, then another thing comes up. You have one movie after another movie, after another movie, and after another movie. So when are you going to stop getting caught up in all the different movies and trying to fix all the different movies, when what you should be working on is your sense of separation from your Creator, your sense of separation from God, making sure that that connection is really tight is where the effort should really be put more so than constantly trying to solve all the problems of the endless dramas that our ego makes up to keep us distracted from the truth. So what is your consciousness like? Your consciousness is like that movie screen. It witnesses that which arises and it witnesses that which passes away, even within your body mind itself. So what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to identify with that pure screen. You are supposed to identify with that pure wholeness, that pure oneness, the pure witness. Identify with the pure witness. Who is the pure witness? What is the pure witness? The spaciousness that's wider than all universes. Identify with the spacious self. Identify with your expanded unlimited consciousness. Identify, in a sense, with the screen more than you are identifying with the movie that you're playing on your screen. Because don't forget, when the movie is over, the movie is gone. The characters in the movie are gone. What's really left is the movie theater and the movie screen. So really, what you should be identifying with is the part that's permanent, the part that lasts, not the part that constantly changes and comes and goes. Notice that part of you, notice that part of you, notice that part of you that is simply aware of what's coming up. Notice that part of you that is the witness. Notice that part of you that's always noticing what's happening around you, a feeling. Notice that part of you that notices your feelings. Notice that part of you that notices your thoughts. Notice that there's a part of you that's aware of a word, a song heard, a car crash witnessed. It doesn't really matter. Anything coming up in the field of your experience, anything that's coming up in your experience, anything that's coming up in your experience arises in the field of this spaciousness of awareness. So what is God's gift to you as your very existence? God's gift to you is your spacious awareness. You have awareness. Your greatest gift is that you are aware. Your greatest gift from God, your greatest gift from love is that you are aware. You are aware. You have awareness. You have consciousness. You have awareness. That's the greatest gift you could ever receive from the universe. That's the greatest gift you could ever receive from God. The greatest gift. Do you want to know? Do you want to know what the greatest gift is that you have ever received from God? The greatest gift that you've ever received from God is that you have the spaciousness of awareness. 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 So how do you get in touch with that spacious awareness that's you? That's Brother John Christmas at johnchristmas.com, and you can download the music for free. John Christmas at johnchristmas.com. My good brother. We're collaborating. We're going to collaborate on some new music and stuff together. So I'm looking forward to Spirit coming through me in another way. So how can that awareness of spaciousness be fueled? Well, that awareness of spaciousness can be fueled by one thing, the decision for love, or your awareness can be fueled by the belief in fear. So either you can be totally conscious of you can be totally conscious and aware of love, or you can be totally conscious and aware of fear. You can be totally conscious of the awareness of love. You can be totally conscious and aware of love. You can be totally conscious and aware of love, or you can be totally conscious and aware of fear. So my beloved mighty companions, if you have truly chosen, if you really made the decision, no joke, to enact the way of knowing, if you're really sincere about this, if you really want to express the way of knowing, do not waste time. Stop wasting time. Stop wasting time. Stop letting time waste you. Stop letting time waste you, and stop wasting time. If you're really sincere about mastering love and peace and who you really are, and getting in touch with that and becoming more enlightened and becoming more awakened and becoming happier, then stop wasting time. Stop wasting time. Look over the next 30 days. Look deeply at the truth of what's been running you. You want to say, what's been running me? What's been running me? Let me take a look closely at what's been running me. I want to take a really close look and find out and become aware of what I have allowed to run me. What are the patterns, in other words? What do I mean by that? What are the patterns that created your choices? What are the patterns that are creating your reactions? What are the patterns that are creating your responses? What are the patterns that are creating your rationalizations? What are the patterns that are creating the great words, the great seeking, the great striving, all of it? What are the patterns that's making you do everything that you're doing right now? What are the patterns that you have that's making you handle and do everything the way that you are doing it right now? Do you know what Jesus is asking us to do? Do you know what Spirit is asking us to do? Do you know what love is asking us to do? It's asking us to look well and perceive and know that which was birthed from fear, no matter what it looked like. For indeed, the wolf can come in sheep's clothing. In other words, where have you been a ravenous wolf? Where have you been the wolf in sheep's clothing, Earl? Where have you been the wolf in sheep's clothing? In sheep's clothing. Where have you been the wolf in sheep's clothing, mighty companion? What does that mean? With false smiles in order to get another to give you what you believe you want? Where have you been faking and not being authentic and being who you think you need to be in order to get somebody to give you what you want? Is there anybody in your life that you are trying to get? Is there anybody that you are trying to get, or anything that you're trying to get, to the extent that you are being like a wolf in sheep's clothing, pretending that you are the way you really aren't, or smiling when you really don't want to smile, or treating them nice when you really don't want to treat them nice because it's something you need to get from them, or you're deceiving them in some way because you're trying to get them, or you're changing yourself in some way so that you can get something or get them? That's where you are being the wolf in sheep's clothing. Where is it that you're holding back your love? Where is it that you're trying to get and you're holding your love back? Who is it that you're holding your love back from because they're not giving you what you want? Who is it that you're holding your love back from because they're not giving you what you want, Earl? Where are you holding your love back because you're not getting what you want, mighty companion? Where have you refused to become perfectly vulnerable? Where is it in your life that you are undefended? Where is it in your life that you don't have some kind of wall of defense and protection of? Who is it in your life that you don't have any kind of a wall up, a protective barrier up, so that you won't be vulnerable or hurt by them? Because it is only on the other side of that decision that your perfect invulnerability arises. So how can I get to such a state in which I cannot be hurt? How can I get to a state that I cannot be hurt? Then I have to do what? I have to love and not contract and refrain from love. I have to allow myself to be open and receptive. So you are love and nothing else. You are love and nothing else. You are love. You are love. You are love. You are love. 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 You are 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 love. I am 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 love. You are 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 love. We 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 are love, 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 and nothing else. You are love and nothing else. You are only love. 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 In any moment that you behave, in any moment that you speak, in any moment that you see yourself as anything other than love, if there's any time in the day, if there's any time that you see yourself as anything other than love, then let me tell you what you've done. Don't you want me to tell you? Do you want me to tell you? Tell me you want me to tell you. Tell me you want me to tell you. Tell me you want me to tell you by sending me some indications in terms of the emojis that you put on the screen right now. Show me that you want to know. You want to know how you have used your awareness. when you've used your awareness other than receiving love? How have you used your awareness? Okay, I can see you all are responding. That's right. Let's do that interaction. Let me know that you want to hear more of what I'm saying right now. Let me know that you want to hear more of what the way of knowing and the way of mastery is saying right now. Okay, you are love. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You are nothing else but love. You are nothing but love. You are nothing but love. But if you see yourself as anything other than love, if you see yourself as anything other than love, then it means you are using the power of your awareness to decide for what would attempt to stand against the kingdom of God. So either you're using your awareness against love, or you're using your awareness to be love. You are either using your awareness against love, or you're using your awareness to be love. And you're the one that suffers when you don't use your awareness to be love. It's you, Earl. It's you, Raj. It's you, mighty companion. It's you that suffers. It's you that suffers if you decide to see yourself as anything other than love, and if you decide to be against love. So, love, my beloved friends. Love, my mighty companions. So many of you have read my words. This is what Yeshua Jesus is saying now. So many of you have read my words, and you look upon me with such great love. You look upon me and say, oh, Yeshua, Jesus, Yeshua just loves so perfectly. Jesus just loves so perfectly. Buddha just loves so perfectly. All the spiritual masters, they just love so perfectly. And Jesus says, well, of course I do. Of course I love completely. Of course I love perfectly. Because I've come to see that there's nothing else worth doing. If you're an enlightened being, you realize there's nothing more valuable than being a loving being. That's how you can tell when you finally awaken. You will only be a loving being. And a loving being has nothing to do with you always saying nice stuff to people and smiling in everybody's face. Being a loving being means that you accept all things, that you receive all things, that you allow all things, that you don't judge all things, that you trust in the innate goodness of the divine within yourself and within the other person and within the universe. That you only want to be free and you only want to give freedom. Because you know that that's the only thing that's really valuable. And I know that sounds almost simplified. I know it sounds almost, oh, that's just too simple. It just couldn't be that simple. But the truth is simple. 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 The truth is not complicated. The truth isn't complicated. The more complicated that you need everything to be in order for you to hear it or listen to it, the more you're in your ego, according to this particular teaching. The truth is simple, but simplicity is very difficult for twisted minds. A Course in Miracles says simplicity is very difficult for twisted, complicated minds. So what is it that you must do? What is it that you must do? You must come in your own Christed nature. You must come in your own true nature. You must come in your own love nature to see that in perfect innocence, there is not anything else to do but love. You're going to realize when you're perfectly innocent, you're going to realize when you know your perfect innocence, when you know your perfect innocence, you will know when you know your perfect innocence. You will know when you know your perfect innocence. Do you want to know how you will know when you have accepted your perfect innocence? You will know there's not anything else to do but love. You'll know that there's nothing else to do but love. To love how? How do you love? You love without limits. How do you love without limits? You love without fear. How do you love without fear? To love by extending perfect freedom to all of creation. You love without fear by freeing everybody to be and do what they want to be and do. That's how you love people. You free them to do what they want to do, and you free them to be who they are, and you free them to do what they want to do. Then and only then and only then, can you know that nothing can betray you when you're letting everybody be and you're freeing everybody and you're not trying to control everybody and you being only love. That's the time you will know that nobody can betray you, nobody or nothing can hurt you, and nothing can bring anything to you, and nothing can take anything away from you. So how do you get to the point that you know nothing can betray you? How do you get to the point that you know that nothing can hurt you? How do you get to the point that you know that nothing can bring anything to you or take anything away from you? You will know that when you make the decision that you're not going to be anything but love, that you're going to love without limits, that you're going to love without fear, that you're going to love people by extending freedom to all of creation and everything in creation to be and do what it wants to be and do. It is only when you get to that level of consciousness, when you are expressing yourself in that way, that you will know that nothing can betray you, nothing can hurt you, and nothing can bring anything to you or take anything away from you. You will have the infinite and perfect freedom to love. I have the infinite and perfect freedom to love. I have the infinite and perfect freedom to love. I have the infinite and perfect freedom to love. I have the infinite and perfect freedom to love. You have the infinite and perfect freedom to love. You have the infinite and perfect freedom to love. You have the infinite and perfect freedom to love. You have the infinite and perfect freedom to love. And in that decision, what decision? The decision to love, you will know your Creator, and you can quite simply say with me, quite simply, say with me, behold, I and my Father are one and the same. I and my Creator are one and the same. I and my Creator are one and the same. I and my Creator are one and the same. I and my Creator are one and the same. You and your Creator are one and the same. You and your Creator are one and the same. You and your Creator are one and the same. You and your Creator are one and the same. You and your Creator are one and the same. You and your Creator are one and the same. You and your Creator are one and the same. You and your Creator are one and the same. Me and my Creator are one and the same. Me and my Creator are one and the same. I and my Creator are one and the same. I and my Creator are one and the same. Now, let me give you a hug. 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 Now let me set you free to have your experience. I set you free to have your experience. What is it that I set you free to do? What is it that I set you free to do? I set you free to have your experience. I set you free. I set you free to have your experience. I set you free. That's what you say to someone you love. That's what you say to that which you love. I set you free to have your experience. I set you free to have your experience. I give you a hug and I let you, and I set you free to have your experience. Now, let me watch this great movie. Now, let me enjoy my salad. It's also very simple. It's so very simple. It's so very simple. It's so very simple. So basically, let's review. What am I telling you? What is the way of mastery telling you? What is it saying that you should do? What is it saying that you should do? Never identify yourself with your doing. Never identify with what you are doing. Never identify with what you're doing. But let your doing be infused by your being. Let your doing be infused by your being. What does that mean? What does that mean? That your doing be infused by your being. While you are in this world, the body, mind will do. While you're in this world, your personality self is going to do. Its very nature is action and activity itself. Just like it is the nature of a leaf in autumn to fall from a tree to the ground, would you say, oh, well, that leaf fell from the tree in the autumn, and that shouldn't have happened. That leaf shouldn't have had to die. That leaf shouldn't have had to change colors. So what's wrong with this universe? Well, let me tell you something, and this is deep. This is really deep. Let me tell you something. You are like a leaf on the tree. You are like a leaf on the tree. You are already falling to the moment of your death. You are already falling to the moment of your death. You are like a leaf on a tree. You are already falling to the moment of your death. So, In other words, you're just going to be here temporarily in this form. So how much more time will you waste? How much more time are you going to waste before you decide to break through the chains of your fear? How much longer are you going to wait before you break through the chains of your lack consciousness? Much longer are you going to wait to break through the chains of your guilt, the chains of fear that are being held in the very tissues of your body, that's being held in your very mind? How much longer will you wait? Wait for what? Wait to enjoy the dance of the fall from the branch of birth to the ground of death of the body, mind, in order to experience the total freedom of the fall. You fell from the branch of birth, going to the ground of death of the body. When are you going to start to experience the freedom of the fall? Experience the freedom of the fall. Experience the freedom of this experience. Experience the freedom of this temporary experience. Experience the joy of this temporary experience, even though you are eternal. This character, this personality, the one with the social security numbers, that part of your idea of yourself, that part of you is in a free fall from the branch of birth to the ground of physical death. How much longer are you going to wait to enjoy this free falling rather than being caught up in grievances and anger and judgment and upset and little petty things? Enjoy the total freedom of the fall. For the great fall from grace, the great dream of separation, this experience of thinking that you are separate, this experience of thinking that you are in the body, this experience of believing that you are temporary must finally be embraced. Embrace this experience. Embrace this experience. Don't hate this experience. Don't fight this experience. Embrace this experience of having the dream of being temporarily separated. It has to be fully embraced. That means you have to live it with perfect love. That means you must not obstruct anything, nothing, knowing that the very momentary experience of the body-mind in a perfectly insane world is all right because it's all an illusion. Thinking that you are a person in this insane world is all right because it's all an illusion. To resist the illusion is to insist that the illusion is real. It is only in the full embrace, it's only in the full embrace of this experience, this illusion, that the illusion dissolves before your eyes. If you want the fear to dissolve, if you want the false ideas to dissolve, if you want the lack to dissolve, if you want the sickness to dissolve, if you want the addiction to dissolve, if you want the guilt to dissolve, it only is going to dissolve when you fully embrace the experience as being part of your free fall within this dream of physical reality, this awesome experience that we have chosen to have, thinking that we're just people in bodies in a separated world, separate from each other. Embrace it. Embrace it, because love sets all things free again. Love sets all things free again. Love sets all things free again. Love sets all things free again.
I'm not a victim of the future, not a victim of the past, not a victim of anything that really doesn't last. I'm not a victim of the world I see. Not a victim of the world I see. 'Cause what's happening now is what I've done to me.
Over the next 30 days, this is what I want you to do. This is what I want you to do over the next 30 days. Mighty Companion, is me and you, and this is what I want you to do over the next 30 days. I'm Earl Purdy. I am you, you are me, and this is what I want you to do over the next 30 days. I want you to dedicate and commit each moment of each day to demonstrating only love. I want you to take upon yourself the commitment to discipline your mind and discipline your heart while opening the body without obstruction. I want you in each moment to set all beings free. I want you to set everybody free over the next 30 days. Set everybody free How do you set everybody free? You set everybody free by only being committed to love. You set everybody free by only being committed to love. Also, you see how much joy you can experience. I want you over the next 30 days to see how much joy you can experience by being a lover of all of life. I want you to see how much joy you can experience by freeing and loving everything. This is what you do. I'm going to tell you what to do. Do you want to know even further what to do? Okay, well, listen very carefully. This is what you do next to awaken in love. This is what you do next. Want nothing from no one. For the next 30 days, don't be trying to get anything from anyone. For the next 30 days, don't try to need anything from anyone. What you do over the next 30 days, you express your passion. Express your passion. Express your passion. Over the next 30 days, express your passion. Express your passionate nature. Express your longing. I want you to look at the leaves that are falling, if they're happening in your neighborhood. Wherever you are, look at everything and decide to love the hell out of it. Look at everything around you and decide you're going to free the hell out of it. You're going to love the hell out of it. You're not going to judge it. For the hell in it, the hell that you experience in anything, do you know what the hell is that you experience in anything? The hell that you experience in anything is only what you have projected upon it. Take back your projection and then embrace that thing with love. For 30 days, you can do it. You can do it. For 30 days, that's just a small amount of time in the frame of a human life. Wouldn't you give yourself permission for just 30 days to do this? This isn't a difficult assignment. I'm not telling you to do anything hard. Anybody with any degree of intelligence, anybody with any degree of maturity can surely decide each morning for one friggin' day to demonstrate only love, and then to string 30 of those days together. Get up in the morning and say, I'm going to demonstrate freedom. I'm going to demonstrate freedom. I'm going to demonstrate freedom. I'm going to free everything and everybody around me to be and do exactly what they feel like they need to be and do. If it is in truth, if you're really not jabbing and you really want the transformation of your soul, if you really want the transformation of your soul, if that's what you're really seeking, so that only the Christ in you is present, so that only your true authentic self is present, right where you are, I want you to complete this one assignment if you really want to know your true self. And when you do this one assignment, then do it again, and do it again, and do it again, because you want worlds without end. Heaven is waiting for you. Heaven is perfect joy. Heaven is perfect oneness. Heaven is perfect happiness. It's waiting for you. Love is waiting on your welcome. Love is saying, welcome me, welcome me. I'm trying to get to your butt, welcome me. Love is saying, welcome me, welcome me. Yet, what is that welcome? When you say you're going to welcome love, Earl, what are you talking about, mighty companion? When you say you're going to welcome love, it means you are going to make the decision to finally embrace you. You're going to make the decision, I'm going to embrace me. Finally, I'm going to love me. Finally, I'm going to embrace me. Finally, I'm going to accept me. Finally, I'm going to accept me. That's the decision for love. The decision for love is to say, finally, I'm going to embrace myself. Finally, I'm going to live the truth that has already set me free. I'm going to finally live this truth that has set me free. I'm going to live this stuff. I'm not going to just be talking about it and just being in groups talking about it and debating about it and arguing about it. I'm going to live my truth. I'm going to live my truth now. I'm going to be the truth. I'm going to live the truth. I'm going to practice the truth. A true teacher is a demonstrator. A true teacher is a demonstrator. So I'm going to embrace myself. I'm going to embrace you. I'm going to free you. I'm freeing you in my mind to be and do whatever it is you feel like you need to experience. I'm going to love. So how do you love? That's going to make those of you who are insecure, that need to control and manipulate others, mad as hell by what I'm saying right now. But I'll tell you this, to love somebody is to give them complete freedom to be and do as they will. Even if you don't like that, even if that scares the heck out of you, that doesn't change the fact that to love something is to free it. To love something is to give it complete freedom. There is no other doorway to the perfect freedom that you've been looking for a long, long time other than for you to give it. There's no way for you to have the freedom that you've been looking for a long, 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 long time except to give it. The only way for you to have it is to give it. The only way to truly have it is to give it. The only way to truly have something is to give it. Whatever it is that you want, you have to give it. Whatever it is that you want, you must give it. Whatever it is you want to receive, you must give it. So let time end. Let those things that are temporary end. Aren't you tired of temporary love? Aren't you tired of temporary happiness? Aren't you tired of temporary safety? Aren't you tired of temporary security? Aren't you tired of temporary health? Aren't you tired of temporary relationships? Aren't you tired of temporary peace? Well, that's what time is. Time is where things begin and end. So let time end so that eternity might be remembered. Why don't you let time end? Only love can set you free. Do you know what can set you free? Do you know what the only thing that will set you free is? The only thing that will set you free is love. And indeed, with that, my beloved mighty companions, I want you to have peace all the time. I want you to have peace always. Peace be unto you always. I want you to have peace always. For indeed, it is dripping through the ethers of your very atmosphere. Peace is waiting for you to drink peace in. Peace is just waiting for you to drink peace in. Peace is just waiting for you to drink it in. Peace be with you always. Oh, okay, we're going to touch on a few takeaways. Thank you for joining me with this. If you like to share a financial expression of appreciation to support my full-time teaching ministry, just go to earlpurdy.com. I'm not begging, I'm asking. Next, you know it's time for you to let go of some blocks once and for all. I am available for one-on-one sessions that can help you get past every block to your happiness and every problem that you think you're having using this material and my knowledge of astrology and numerology. Go to my website, earlpurdy.com, and read the section called Clarity Sessions. And it tells you exactly what I do and how we can do it together to get past the block. Next, go to my website, earlpurdy.com, and sign up for the contact list. I have a lot of things that Spirit is telling me to do with people in private sessions, group sessions, and workshops online that will be very in-depth teaching and learning. Go to my website, earlpurdy.com, sign up for the contact list, and I can let you know when these classes and workshops are available. Mighty companions, it's time for us to let go of the blocks. It's time to stop wasting time. Let Spirit help you through me and every other way that Spirit can come to you. This has been so awesome to be with you. I'm going to see a few of the things that were said earlier today. True love sets us free to have our experiences with complete acceptance. It's important to know that true love sets us free to have our experiences with complete acceptance. Thank you, CJ, for the support and the sharing and commenting and narrating while I'm doing this, because it's coming through me and it's hard for me to just stop when the energy flow is coming through me. So don't forget, love is waiting on your welcome. So embrace yourself. Embrace yourself. Embrace yourself for 30 days. Give yourself permission to do this. if it really is the transformation of your soul that you are looking for, so that only the true you, the Christ you, is present where you are, complete this one assignment. And when it's done, do it over and over and over and over and over, because love is waiting for your welcome. You are powerful. You are not a victim of the world you see.
I'm not a victim.
You're not a victim
of the world I see. I'm not a victim.
You're not a victim
of the world I see. I'm not a victim, no.
Say it with me.
Of the world I see.
Yeah, let's do it, y'all. Love waits on your welcome. I give all things complete freedom to me. I give all things complete freedom to me. I give all things all freedom to me. I give all things complete freedom to be. I give you complete freedom to be. Complete freedom to be. Now listen.
I'm not a victim of the North. I'm not a victim of the South. Not a victim of anything. Till what comes out my mouth. I'm not a victim.
You're not a victim. You're not a victim
of the world I see.
You're not a victim of the world you see.
Cause what's happening now,
What
is what I've done to me.
Embrace yourself. Say this now.
I'm not a victim.
I'm not a victim of the world I see.
I'm not a victim.
I'm not a victim
of the world I see. I'm not a victim, no.
Claim your power
of the world I see.
Now say to yourself right now, say this. I welcome love, 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 welcome love, I welcome love, you 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 welcome love. We welcome love, I know we welcome love. Let's do it, mighty companions. It's time to welcome love.
I'm not a victim,
Not a victim
of the world I see.
I'm not a victim. I'm not a victim of the world. Neither are you. We're not
what's happening now is what I've done to me.
I love you, mighty companions. You all are off the chain.